Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to episode 251 of the Sports Therapy Association podcast. My name is Matt Phillips, creator of RunChatLive.com. And as always, this episode is being recorded live at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday on the Sports Therapy Association YouTube channel. I say every week, but those of you who follow the show religiously will know that we've had 2 weeks off for summer. So we are not 100% energy wise. It takes a bit of time to get back, isn't it, after break, but we're ready to go. And I'm very excited. We're going to do probably the last of our current reflection series in a while now before we lead up to a countdown to the conference, which is taking place in September. More on that later on. But for those of you unaware, the reflection series we've been doing is where I invite a listener of the podcast onto the show to chat with me about a past episode of the STA podcast that particularly affected their daily practice as a soft tissue therapist. It's been a fantastic series, and the feedback has been wonderful. Thank you for everyone who sent in emails, especially when it talks about like it's empowered you and encouraged you to think about coming on the show. If you do want to come on the show for a future series of the reflection, then I'll give you details towards the end of the podcast. In tonight's episode, Megan Jackson, who's the founder of Bodies by Merge, is going to be joining me very shortly to reflect on episode 224, Social Media, Do Soft Tissue Therapists Really Need It? That we recorded back in January this year with guests Katie Bell and Daniel Lawrence. As of next week, what we're going to be do is starting a countdown of the speakers. We're going to invite some speakers into the show who are going to talk about what they're going to be bringing to the STA South West Conference, which, as I mentioned already, is going to be happening in Exmouth on the 20th and the 21st of September in collaboration with the ST School and the Hands-On Hub. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. I know I'm biased. What can I say? I'm going to be emceeing it and doing a couple of talks on working with runners as well. But we've put a lot of work into this. It's kind of a joint collaboration between the STA, who those who've been to Therapy Expo will know we've done the STA Theatre there for I don't know how many years. I've spoken there since pretty much it started. And we're collaborating with the ST School, who had the Hands-On Hub at Therapy Expo for a good 3 or 4 years now. So we decided let's get together and do something potentially where more people can come along to, a little bit more local for those of you who are in the Southwest. And that's this time around going to be in Exmouth on the weekend as well, which is nice for those of you who can't make it midweek. And we've got a nice little social on the Saturday night, obviously purely for networking reasons and nothing else. But that would be great as well. And networking and contact and sharing is the key. They're the key words really for the whole conference, for people to get to know each other and share problems and find common solutions and that sort of stuff. Speakers, as you can imagine, when we're dealing with the STA and the Hands-On Hub, are going to be amazing. We've got Michelle Lyons and Claire Minshull, Serena Simmons, James Earls, Siobhan O Donnell, Andy Hosgood, and many, many more. Some of those names may mean nothing to you. I hope they do, because otherwise it's just a big echo bubble. But fantastic speakers with a wealth of experience and workshops happening over the 2 days. It's actually a full day Saturday, then a social, and then a half day Sunday, giving you all time to get back to your lovely places for work on Monday morning. We've put a lot of thought into this, people. So what we're going to do, to give you an idea, for those of you who maybe don't know the speakers, next Tuesday at 8 o'clock on August 26th, my guests are going to be Michelle Lyons of Celebrate Celebrity and Siobhan O'Donovan, the Booby Physio. Both of them have been guests on the podcast before. They're going to be presenting and speaking at the conference in September. So it'll give you a chance to listen to them and hear what they're going to be talking about. The week after, we're going to have the wonderful Dr. Claire Minshull, who a lot of you, if you've been to Therapy Expo, will know, who's going to be, well, she is the strength and conditioning. I don't like to use the word guru, but here I think I can get away with it. Everything, as particularly massage therapists, need to know about strength and conditioning. Dr. Claire Minshull is a fantastic fountain of knowledge. Also, with Dr. Claire Minshull is going to be Serena Simmons, who some of you might not know from the psychology school. Serena's again, the go-to person about the psychology and communication and changing behavior, which is something we all need to be thinking about when we're working with people in pain. Then on the Tuesday afterwards, we're going to have the one and only Anna Maria Mazzieri, who's the director of the ST School, who's going to be we're combining this with something that was requested a couple of weeks ago about what is evidence-informed practice, what is evidence-based practice for massage therapists. Often it's kind of thrown around in Facebook groups. You should be more evidence-based. What the hell is it? How evidence-based can you be if you're a massage therapist? So Anna Maria Mazzieri, director of the ST School, is going to be in to chat about that and also about the presentation she's doing with regards to that at the conference. And then finally, on Tuesday, the 16th of September, which is the week before the conference, then my guest is going to be James Earls, who a lot of you may know from his books Born to Move and Born to Walk and all the other wonderful presentations and information he puts out there. James is going to be talking about anatomy. And in this episode, he's going to be talking about anatomy for massage therapists. Why do we learn it back to front? Which might not make any sense to you at all, but it should do by the time you've listened to James. So if you listen to the podcast, we'd love you to join us live for those. It'd be a great opportunity to ask questions and get to know the speakers at the conference. There's many more therapists or speakers that are going to be speaking and workshops. If you're looking for information on the conference, then go to the STA South.co.uk. All of the details are on there along with the program, and check it out. And tickets are available. There is at the moment still until the end of August. Checking that's right. Yeah, until the end of August, there is still a summer discount if you register now before August finishes. So grab a discount for it there. And if you are an STA member, there's even more of a discount. You can get the code for that from either the STA member page or just the newsletter has got it on there. Or you can email me, matt@sta.co.uk. Hopefully, we'll see some of you there in September in Exmouth. If you can't make it, don't worry. We're going to do more around the country. But I would really recommend, if you can get that weekend off, to join us there. It's going to be fantastic. Right, I've left it down there for long enough. Back to tonight's show. As I say, it's going to be probably the last in a while for our reflection series. But I'm going to bring up Megan Jackson, founder of Bodies by Merge, who's going to be reflecting on January's episode 224. Social media, do soft tissue therapists really need it? I'll bring up Megan now. Hey, Megan, how you doing?
Hey.
We are live now, just to make that clear. We had a wonderful conversation for 10 minutes, and then I had to break the news to Megan that we weren't actually live yet. And I think I got a face of like, oh, just maybe do all of that, we're not even live, but we are live. So everything you said you need to say again. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving up your valuable time.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
For those of you who don't know you, I have mentioned you a couple of times in the other shows, and I've mentioned you to people because I just love the work you do. I've always said, when I was working in a clinic with about 10 people, we had a couple of massage therapists who were just experts at making people feel relaxed and knowing what certain people like, what certain people don't. They were not trying to become level 4s or 5s or work with people in pain. It just wasn't their bag.
Yeah.
And often I just use them as an example of saying, look, if that's your thing, then do it, because it's not the easy way out at all. There's an awful lot of work that goes into that. So I followed you on Instagram, and I think you kind of exemplify that wonderfully with the sort of stuff you do. But for people who don't know about you, tell us a little bit of how and why you got into massage therapy.
Okay, well, it's a bit of a deep one, and I'm just going to tell a bit of a story. It's not long-winded, but bear with me, because when I get to the end, it will make sense, okay? So it was, I think, just after COVID. I'd been searching for a long time for a career anyway. I'd honestly tried everything and anything. I won't even go into the things that I tried, but Jesus Christ, I've tried it all. Anyway, I'd been in a very abusive relationship for a long time. My nervous system was honestly so wrecked, and I was on benefits, and benefits, they want to get you back into work ASAP. So they were offering me free courses, and one of them was a beauty one. I'll be honest, I didn't really want to do it, but you can't say no. You have to do something. So that was one of them that I went and did. And I'd probably been doing it about 4 months at this point. And the tutor was really lovely. She was really good. And to be honest, I kind of thought, you know what, I'll do it. I could maybe do it on the side at a weekend, just anything just to figure out what I'm going to do. Anyway, the tutor went, I need a model for massage. Now, listen, I just said, yeah, I weren't even thinking about it. I will, if there's anything free to try, any sort of treatment, I will nominate myself. So I'd never tried it. So she sat me in the front, and honestly, the minute she put her hand on my arm, like, I'm getting chills even now thinking about it. Sorry. I just went, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And when I think back to the time that I was in turmoil. So that touch was so soothing and so nice and so comforting. And instantly in that moment, I felt it deep in my soul. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do massage. That will be the thing. That will be my lifelong career, And it seems so silly to get emotional, but it was so important for my life and my career. And again, It was so soothing and so warm and caring, and it wasn't rushed. It was with intention. It was just so nice. And after that, I went straight back to my desk. I'm Googling therapists in the area. I'm Googling courses. What do I need to pass? Different kinds of massage, because honestly, I had never even had a massage at this point. I just felt it on my arm and thought, oh my God, that's it. That's what I'm meant to do. And yeah, a bit of a crazy one, but also such a huge life changing moment for me.
I mean, I didn't know any of that. But it kind of comes out in the image you portray on Instagram and on social media. I mean, I didn't know any of that, but I can see that you really are dedicated to just helping people relax, take time off,
Yeah.
look internally. And I guess now, I mean, now everyone knows why that is, but
Yeah.
you managed to convey that message so well on social media. So it's really interesting. It's going to be really interesting tonight to hear whether that comes naturally or whether it's taking you a while to actually get the method of getting those messages out there.
I think it comes naturally now because I understand the true power of touch. And if you're going through something, whether it's stress, anxiety, depression, whether your nervous system has been damaged for a long time, I just understand how important it is to devote yourself to that person, you know? So yeah, I really do get it. And if I wouldn't have been through a lot of the stuff that I'd gone through and been broken, I probably wouldn't get it, you know? But I do. You know, I get people of all kinds of reasons. They could be going through all different kinds of things in life. So being someone's safe space, even if it's for an hour, 90 minutes, someone trusting you with their body that could be so damaged, or mind, or, you know, I say it sounds a bit extra, but it's an honor to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's beautiful, and I think there's a lot of listeners who will enjoy the fact that you can say that. Sometimes people put themselves down, particularly massage therapists. We've had on the show so much. It's like, oh, I'm not a physio. Oh, I'm not this. I'm not that. But
Yeah.
that's because they're not thinking about what they do, and
Yeah.
what an honor it is just to help somebody feel better and walk away. And
100%.
yeah,
There's so much power in it, and I think as massage therapists, you need to know that, you know, it's not easy to massage. It doesn't matter whether you're a physio or not. You have to give yourself, you have to give your body, your hands, your joints, your muscles, you know. It's a total giving career, job kind of thing, you know what I mean?
good stuff. Well, thank you for sharing that. Right, so people who are listening, there'll be, I mean, a lot of people, if you, let's just put a few little shots up of what you have got going on. So the website, for example, let me just put this up on the screen.
Okay. I think you don't need a website. I was already doing all right without it, but I feel like it's a professional thing to have out there for people to see you. You know, not everyone's going to see you on social media, so it's just another point of contact, I suppose.
And does it cost much to keep it running, or?
I think I pay £58 a month, and they update it. They manage it. They track what works, what doesn't. I get a report every month. I am working on something, so something's going to change on the site soon. Um, so yeah, it's worth it. Like I said,
Do you take bookings through it?
I get email inquiries, but I don't take bookings through it. But I do get a lot of inquiries about treatments, inquiries about gift vouchers. You know, what kind of treatment do I need? Blah blah blah. So yeah.
What do you use for your bookings then? Is there a particular program, or?
I use Fresher. Now Fresher is great. Pros and cons with Fresher, to be fair. To be fair, I started doing Fresher just to give myself a bit of a break, because a lot of people do contact me for a booking, which I do not mind. But let's say you've got 30 DMs, which is absolutely amazing. but it's a lot to get through. And 9 times out of 10, some people know what they want. So it just, it cuts a bit of time.
Makes sense. No, but these are just questions which people love to hear. If anything, it strengthens people who are using the same stuff. And how much, what sort, because it's interesting with social media. The episode which we're talking about is, do therapists need social media? Is it as simple as a yes or no question, or is it a depends?
I think can be a depend. I don't think social media measures your success as a business. However, we're in the world of 2025, we're in the world of technology, we're in the world of online, where social media is such a huge part of life. And 9 times out of 10, it's free advertisement. If you know what you're doing or you can get someone to help you, get it. Don't waste time. Social media, like I said, is my biggest, where I get most, 80% of my business. And one thing I notice actually, when, let's say I get a new client, they'll go, oh, I seen you on Instagram. And that was, that's what sold me to you effectively. So yeah, I think it depends. There's a lot of old school massage therapists that are in yellow pages and they're still successful, busy doing what they're doing. So I think it depends, but I'm more yeah than no.
How far do your clients travel in general? Are they all pretty local, or do you get some clients traveling?
I have clients, so for reference, I am based somewhere called Chadderton in Oldham.
Mm-hmm.
So if you comparing that to the city centre, that's about Manchester city centre, sorry, that's about a 25-minute drive. I've had people come to me from Sheffield. I've had people come to me from Glossop, which is quite, well, about an hour away, 45 minutes. I've had people travel quite far, actually, which is quite a compliment. So, yeah.
I think it's interesting to know because, like, I look after therapists who work with runners, and they all kind of think there's one way of doing it, and you've got to use Instagram, you've got to get this software and stuff. But one of the things I'm kind of always saying is it depends. Have you got a list? I'm asking them, have you got a queue of people who already know you, and they're already like living close to you and want to come for help from you, or are you trying to appeal to people who are a little bit further away, who might you could potentially charge a little bit more because they want to travel and come to see you? So I think it all depends. So I'm interested. With social media, do you think you managed to reach people who you wouldn't reach otherwise?
100%. And whether it's male or female, different ages, 100%. Like I said, I get a lot of people that will find me on there. Because not everyone is. Let's say they don't use the old-fashioned way. Let's say I didn't have a website, for example. Not everyone is going to Google. They'll 9 times out of 10 now, people will go to Instagram or TikTok even. TikTok's a great one. So yeah.
Good stuff. How much? I saw. I've the reason I asked on the show because, like I say, I love the material you do, and you really do emphasise the importance of touch. And it's been really interesting. Like I mentioned earlier on, Anna Maria Mazzieri is going to be in the show in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. She's about to start a PhD in neuroscience, and she's been involved in various papers on touch. And she's championing the research behind touch and how important it is and how it can affect the inflammatory system, obviously the nervous system, and work in ways that we still are not quite sure of yet. But it explains why, as you said, somebody can lay a hand on your arm and you just get that surge of energy, which we all give different names to in different religions. And but it's there. Whatever you call it, it's there, and it's very powerful. And as primates, we love it. It's a social.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, it's so important. Not necessarily everybody. So if you're the one listener at home who doesn't like being touched, that's fine.
That's
okay. But there's quite a few people. But were you ever interested in working with people with a particular injury or trying to get somebody back to running, or was your whole goal initially, I just want to make people relax and feel good about themselves?
So when I first started, I thought that was what I wanted. And I'll say to anyone, if you're getting into massage or, I don't know, any kind of caring job, figure out who your client is immediately. Try not to waste time. We all make mistakes, but I think that was definitely my mistake in thinking that everyone was my client. So someone with an injury, a runner, someone who just wants to relax. But those are 100% not my clients. I can tell anyone, I can come in and help you manage your pain, but it's not long lasting. I don't profess to cure anybody. I'm always very upfront. But yeah, my client now is somebody that wants to relax, somebody that has some sort of mental health condition, so anxiety, stress, depression. Yeah, I'd say that.
That's good. And that's something do you think helps your business, knowing who your target audience are? Because if you know who your target audience are, you can perfect and kind of streamline all your advertising just to hit that target person, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think when you know who your client is and who your audience is, it just saves you a lot of time, and you're not trying to reach people that you don't, it's going to sound terrible, but you don't really want to do. You know,
Mm,
you want to help someone. You don't want somebody to come in, like a runner, for example, and you don't fix the problem.
mm,
So, yeah, it definitely does help a lot knowing who you want, what you want, and the kind of content you create. Then you can relate it to that. Like I said, a lot of my content is basic. It's the power of touch.
mm.
And let's say someone's got a day off and they just want to relax. Let's say someone's got a stressful time at work. You just want to switch off, don't you? And your hand can help that. And I think it's the setting you put in, it's your music. Um, sorry, I just spotted a spider. Oh my God. It's the music.
Making sure you got no spiders in the clinic room. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's huge. But yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah, no, the context, and that's what's coming out in the research as well. What we once called placebo, we're kind of correcting now and calling it context, because what the music that's playing, if the client likes that music, then they're more likely to have a kind of desensitizing experience and enjoy
Mm,
it and open up the doors just a piece. Whereas it's something they don't like, if they're really not into Metallica, even though you love it, if that's banging on in the background and they don't like it, they're not going to relax. And it sounds obvious, and that's not placebo. That's actually a context based to affect the nervous system. And
The
the same goes
placebo
for
as
colors.
well,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like, I can't even tell you how incredible that theory is. Like, I'm so interested in it. I'm still learning about it, to be fair, but I do think that really works, honestly.
Oh, without a doubt. It's just knowing how to. But again, what I love about, which you said a few times, is knowing what makes that particular individual in front of you tick, because what you find relaxing. The classic
Yeah.
one back in the day was like well noises. At one stage, every single massage therapist who wanted to make you relax would have "oh, oh" in the background playing on some CD. And not everybody loves that,
Yeah,
including me,
true, true.
But and I've had some clients who really do like some kind of thrash heavy metal or something in the background whilst having massage. And so in our clinic, we used to have music playing, which was set at reception, and it would play in all the rooms. But then, with a little bit of research, realizing that people like different music, we then changed it all. So you just had an iPod in each clinic, and then you say, what do you like to listen to? Do you
Yeah,
like classical? And let them choose. Because if
yeah,
they're going to pay an hour to relax, at least you can do is give them something which they want to listen to, even if you don't like it. So
100%.
sounds obvious, doesn't it? But they're so important.
It's interesting. I've actually had one client that has gone, Megan, please, can you turn this off and just put something else on? And I've gone, yeah, of course. But, it is your session. It's
Yeah,
your
yeah. Oh,
appointment. You
without a
have
doubt.
paid for it. If there is something going on that you do not like, speak up. And I'm sure any other therapist is absolutely more than happy to accommodate, change what needs to be changed. And I would expect the same if I was, going in for a session or da 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 da.
Yeah, there's so much evidence coming out now in research to show that it's the individual experience which plays a massively important part in the treatment, as opposed to the treatment you choose because you think that's going to help them or something. So
Hmm.
yeah, very interesting. People in the comments, if you've got any questions or experiences to share, then feel free to put them in there. When you do ask a question, I can bring it up on the screen. For example, this isn't a question, but Gary Benson, founder of the STA, is in the room, and he says, "Evening all. Hope you had a chance for a bit of time off." Thank you, Gary. Yeah, nearly recovered from 2 weeks off, but we're getting there. So Glenn Murphy, MBE, most definitely, Gary. Good to see you, Glenn. So yeah, if anyone has got any questions in there, then do fire away and just share any experiences you've got of working with people just to relax them. Right, as far as the social media content, if you haven't seen, let me bring up a shot of
you can be, let's say one reel, let's say you're doing a 10-second reel, that can take up to 2 hours. From your filter, from your quote, from your music, from the trimming of the video and da 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 da. One thing I've learned now is how to video effectively. So instead of filming an hour-long treatment, I'll film in clips because I know that I'm not going to use that whole hour. And to edit, to crop it, and God, it takes so much time. So you learn how to be more efficient. But one thing I've learned is to enjoy the process as well. Be creative instead of looking at it like it's a chore. Enjoy that you're creating, like a piece of art, as dramatic as it sounds. So yeah, I suppose.
Are you asking particular clients, is it okay to make some clips from this and they're happy with that, or how does that work?
Depends who it is. I don't really ask a stranger because you coming in and you're showing your body, you're kind of naked, and it's first impressions. When you are filming, you can't ever really fully focus on that client because you're stopping and starting the camera. You're figuring out, what move shall I do? Does this feel good? So one thing I do now, I only really film on friends. Even if it is a client, it'll be a client that I know really well. And one thing I do, because you are stopping and starting a lot, I always offer the treatment discounted. One thing I'll say, you don't have to though. People will do it at full price. But I feel I'm 90% present. So instead of charging 100%, which I feel is fair to me, I'll do it like that. But you definitely do have to set time away to film. Like, I'll have a bit of a schedule. I was recently doing a thing where I was offering discounted slots to just anybody. If you're comfortable in front of the camera and you agree with it going on social media, your face, da 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 da, because it's good to get different kinds of people on instead of just the same. So yeah.
Oh, good. I remember that. I saw that. I think you actually made a post, which is
Yeah.
looking for people who are so cool. I mean, there's so many things I think that listeners will think maybe it's crossed their mind. I thought I could never do that. I mean, I know
You
this.
can do anything you put your mind to. Believe in yourself. And you know what? If it doesn't work, that's okay. Failure and something not working is part of the process. Reassess and get back up. If I can do it, anybody else can do it. I will say that.
There you go. How do you measure whether the time you spend on making these clips is actually getting you business? Is it possible to measure, or
Hmm. I
do you
would.
notice after a particular kind of series of certain posts that suddenly the calls more, or you get people? How do you do it?
I think I measure it by bookings. Number one. Number two, engagement. So, what kind of likes do you get? What kind of comments do you get? And also, Instagram has features where you can actually check how well it's doing. So, at the start of the year, I made it a big promise to myself to just really commit the time instead of just waking up on a Monday and winging it. Commit the time to one day a week, doing your content, questions, polls, da 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 da. And it was pushing the content out more. Like, I got a message to say that within 30 days I'd hit like 120,000 people, which is great, you know. So yeah, I would say bookings. I would say engagement. I actually wrote it down here as well. I would say compliments, and what I mean by that is people actually stopping me and going, Megan, God, that your content's really good, your social media really stands out. And another one, clients picking you because of social media. That's another one I would say.
Do you have some kind of feedback form which asks clients, how did you hear about me, or do you follow me on social media or something like that?
Yeah, I do. When they do a consultation on Fresher, it does say, how did you hear about me? And 8 times out of 10, it will say Instagram or social media. So yeah, I'd say it's pretty good.
Very cool. People who are listening, if you've got any questions on use of social media, we're not saying that everybody should be doing this. It's not going to work for everybody, but obviously you're saying 80% of your clients come from social media, so obviously you've got a business model that works. I wonder whether, because the thing which winds me up sometimes about sports therapists or let's say level 4 and level 5 therapists, is when they're trying to use Instagram and pictures to show how they're curing a certain diagnosis, or kind of when they're moving into injury territory. Suddenly then it gets all either very non-evidence based, or just it all kind of goes out the window once you're working with people, with a particular diagnosis or issue. But when it comes to just helping people relax, Instagram seems made for that, because you can show in a picture beautifully with light and tone and music and a few words how
Yes,
relaxing something is.
that's so true.
Which is why I think more therapists potentially, because we need people like you in the industry. Because I don't know whether you work with other physios or osteos or chiros. In fact, do you ever find that your kind of the services you offer of relaxation work as a complementary part of treatment for somebody who is seeing somebody else?
I don't necessarily get personal referrals, but I do get a lot of clients that will come to me saying that they're going with a physio and they just want a massage because
Mm,
maybe the physio doesn't want to do that, but they're doing that for a reason.
mm,
Massage isn't going to cure the problem, but massage will for sure give a short-term pain relief.
mm.
So I do see a lot of that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we do have a lot of educators and people on here who say that for a lot of people, massage is a very important part of the recovery process, alongside the strength and conditioning, alongside the
Yeah.
changes in nutrition, whatever. But it's often something that's missed out. That hour to just do it once or twice a week, just to disconnect and relax and allow the body to start healing, is hugely important.
Yeah, it really is.
Plus the time to talk to somebody. I was going to mention that as well, actually. I guess you get a variety of people who come in, who some who just want to fall asleep and not say anything, others who maybe want to talk too much. Do you just have to kind of go with whoever's on the couch in front of you and go with it?
Yeah, my job is it's their session. I need to follow their lead. So I can instantly tell when someone's uncomfortable in silence. I can tell when somebody just wants to chat. I'm comfortable with either or. I am very comfortable in silence. I'm very comfortable in my own mind. But it is always nice when someone comes in and they just want to chit chat. I'll be honest, if that was me being on the bed, I need to switch off. I need to switch off. I want to feel the feelings. I want to pay attention. But some people don't want that. But yeah, I can tell. But I think that comes with time as well. I'm always gauging the client, I'm always following their lead.
It's a powerful thing. It's
Yeah.
great. Perfect coaching. Perfect coaching. We had a little chat off air. I mean, I noticed on social media where now and again you remind clients to not arrive early and that sort of stuff, and you mentioned this was kind of done very much on purpose to look after yourself, which is something we've talked on the podcast before. A lot of therapists, manual therapists, suffer from burnout because they are just trying to give too much and not thinking about themselves, and they're just doing
100%.
back to back. So was that something you learned from the beginning, or something you learned along the way, and how difficult is it to enforce?
So it came from just majorly burning out, like to the point where I'm in pain, my body's hurting. I've maybe not massaged correctly to like save my body, but at the same time, everything you're doing is repetitive. So can you really avoid it? No matter what anyway. Um, so last year in November, I went to a physio and they confirmed that I had a few injuries, which I kind of knew. And I thought, oh God. And I actually said to myself, God, if I don't take care of my burnout and the way I do things now, because I think a lot of it comes from people pleasing. It's quite interesting. My job's been very healing for me in all kinds of ways. But, you'll get a client at 6 p.m. Can you do me now? Oh, yeah, go on then. Because you're scared of saying no because you don't want to lose them. But the reality is, I've already done 5 days, 8 clients a day. I'm really tired. And how can I show up for my next client the next day if I'm not taking care? So when I say things like, please only show up 5 minutes before, it's because I've only scheduled 15, 20 minutes. I don't need anything more than that. All I need is to reset up the room, redo the candles, redo the oils, redo the towels, and just have 10 minutes to myself. 10 minutes for my mind, 10 minutes for my hands, my body, just cool down. So, although to that client, 15 minutes doesn't matter to them, they're just thinking, I want to get in, I'm excited, and that's lovely. But to me, that 15 minutes is everything. I need it. It's so important for the next client. And again, you need to set up. Like, one thing I don't like doing, so I rent a room in a barber's, and when you come up the stairs, I will always be greeting you. I think customer service is very, very important. I'll have a smile on my face. I'm ready for you. You won't have to look for me. I will already be there waiting for you. So let's say they turn up 15 minutes early. I'm in the room under the bed. You know, I'm not there. I'm not present. I'm distracted. And the way my brain works, I find it, when I'm in the moment, I find it hard to, do something else. And so not only is it for me, but it's for them as well. I want to show up 100%, and I can't show up 100% when they're turning up early, because then I'm in, not fight or flight, that's a bit dramatic, but I'm in rush mode. And I'm just like, right, yeah, let's get you on the bed. You know what I mean? And I don't like being like that. I hate being like that. I like being calm and in control and smooth. So yeah.
It's very good. I think that's a good example of what massage therapists who progress to sports therapy and working with people with injuries, they tend to forget. Because on most massage courses, we're taught. I mean, I remember when I started off with Swedish massage, it was kind of wash your arms with cold water in between clients and just flick your hands and just give yourself a good 10 minutes just to reset yourself and that sort of stuff. It was, and we learn that and we appreciate it. But as soon as you start
Yeah, you
doing more
forget.
clients, you forget it, and you're doing back to back, and it's like, bye, thanks, just rip the paper, put it on again. Oh, hi, how's it going? How blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no
Yeah,
wonder people burn out. It's a
yeah,
shame.
100%,
It's,
100%.
we need to get back to our roots. With regard, and yeah, we were talking about that because I like the way you actually say that on social media. I think it's letting everybody know. It's a good way of doing it, and other listeners might feel that's a bit embarrassing, telling people to stop coming too early, but it shows that you're looking after yourself, so you're going to give them a top service. So
I
it's a
am.
good post.
Do you know what? It doesn't mean that I'm rude. It doesn't mean anything negative. It's
Mm,
so I can show up for the next person.
yeah.
And it's important, we are there to take care of them. But what about us? How can we take care of them when we're rushed, when we're panicking, when we're stressed? My job is to de stress. If I'm stressed, it doesn't make sense. And again, it's your business, it's your space. You can run it however you want. For my clients that truly know me, I am friendly, I'm open, I'm warm, I'm funny. I have a lot of personality. It doesn't show terrible of me, and I hope it doesn't look like that as well. Oh my god, never thought
No,
about.
no, not at all, not to me. I think that's something therapists would worry about rather than clients. I
Yeah,
think it's that human element, which again, research has shown needs to go into adverts and websites to show that you are human.
yeah, 100%.
Otherwise you don't get that kind of rapport. So that's great. Um, as far as social media advertising goes, you probably see other adverts and things around. And do you think there's mistakes that some therapists make with regards to social media?
I think there is some mistakes. I've wrote them down.
Hmm,
So if you see my eyes going to the
that's
left, you
fine.
know why. So some mistakes that so number one, oh my god, this is a bit of a annoyance for me. Saying things that aren't necessarily true. So putting things on social media like massage will detox you. There is nothing out there to say that. Please stop saying that, because when you can't back that up when they're on the bed asking that question, it sets us all up. I don't like that. That's really crazy. I think being too generic, so either posting the same picture, posting maybe stock photos, it's a bit lazy. Although it's lazy, I'll say that. I think another one, over promoting your bookings. So it's just boring talking about constant bookings. We want to see about you. We want to see about your treatments. We want to see about what you offer. We want to see facts. There's so much you can show than just over promoting your availability.
That's
Another
an interesting
one,
one. So you're saying that some therapists give too many. Oh, I've got a free booking today. I've had a cancellation. You think if that happens too much, it just turns it.
yeah, and sometimes you don't want to put the image. I don't know how to word this. Bear with me. You don't want to put the image out there that you're constantly free, 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 and have all this space.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Um, you want to look busy. You want to look thriving.
Mm.
And sometimes, if you only have 3 in one day, it can be a blessing. Let's say you've had 10 the day before.
Hmm.
Take it, cool down. I suppose mine's a little different to anybody else's, but that's how I look at it anyway.
Well, you've got Sir Glenn Murphy. Okay, so that's the kind of quality of guest we have these days. Says, how refreshing and straight talking is this lady? Fabulous. There you go.
Thank you. That's so nice. Thanks, Glenn.
Yeah, no, it's so true what you say. It is. It's so tricky though, but
It is, and I get it's different for everyone. Like I said, I'm very lucky. One thing I'll say, I've worked very hard to be the position that I am at now. None of it is actually luck. But I do take into consideration that my situation is totally different from anybody else's. I'm 29, I have no kids, I live alone. I have no one depending on me or anything like that. So I can take maybe sometimes that 3 client day. Sometimes people can't. So I do take that into consideration. Um, but another one which I find really, really important, ignoring engagement. Honestly, you need to be on your social media interacting with other people. It's very, very important. You can't just post and go.
mhm.
Make friends with people in your industry, comment on your client's picture, like the stranger's picture that lives in your other area. It's very important. It's for the algorithm, but these are just basics.
How do you do that? Does that sometimes involve checking your phone in between clients, or how do you fit that in?
So I have a routine. When I wake up in the morning, I have my coffee. Um, I wake up a little bit and then I'll get straight on social media. And the first thing I'll do, I'll just give you a little example just so you can see how quick I do it.
Mm.
I am literally bam, bam, bam. Oh, you can't really see.
Yeah,
Bam,
yeah,
bam. I'm liking. I'm
mm,
not really taking it in because I don't really want to. I
yeah,
think there's pros and cons with social media. And with social media, you're just taking in everyone's life, aren't you? I don't always want to do that, being honest with you. So I have a routine. So I like everything on my follow.
yeah,
I'll then go on my explore page. I'll like and comment on a few things. And it's got to be genuine comments.
yeah.
Instagram can kind of tell when you're not being genuine.
Mm.
And then I will also search an area, and I always do a different area. So one area might be Greater Manchester, and whatever comes up, I will just like and get. And do you know what? The goal isn't to just find an immediate booking because you're not going to get that. But I'm reminding you that I'm there. You're going to see my name, and if you ever need a massage, you might think, "Oh, Merge, oh, Megan." They're clever.
Okay, so what platform do you do this in? You do a local area near you. Is this on Facebook
No,
or
I do this on Instagram
Instagram?
and just go on the search box,
Yeah.
type in Chatterton, and loads of stuff will come up related to Chatterton. Could be a
Okay,
footballer,
cool.
it could be a
Okay.
takeaway. And like I said, when someone needs massage, they'll remember Merge. Merge is it's kind of a one-off.
Yeah, yeah. This is
Each-
interesting because I think I can't remember if it was on the episode which we're talking about or another one, but it's relevant. It was relative to Facebook, where Facebook kind of local communities are a really good source to advertise, but not advertising your services, like you're saying. Just put your name in there.
Yeah,
Just make a comment on, oh yeah, the high street shut again, or the A27's closed, whatever it is, and then
yeah,
they see Bodies by Merge,
yeah,
and it's
100%. It works.
very cool. So I didn't realize you got on Instagram as well. There we go. You're teaching
Yeah,
us so much. That's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then once they see that, they click through to your profile, and that's where you've got this kind of second round, the funnel kind of
yeah.
effect of letting them know what you do. Very cool. Sorry, I interrupted you. Yes.
It's
Any
okay.
other tips? These are all great.
Any other tips? So I think this is really obvious. Poor quality content. Your
Okay.
lighting, your camera, it all needs to be on point.
Hmm.
It's okay to make mistakes, but get it together a little bit. Sounds a bit brutal to say that, but true.
So, what do you need? Is it a case of making some purchases to make sure you've got that lighting, or is it just the
Yeah,
knowing of how to do it?
I mean, if it's in your budget and you can go for it. Like if you've got, I don't have Samsung, so I don't know how they work. But iPhones, for example, the cameras are great. Always make sure the lighting's great. So whether it's a flash, whether it's your lighting above, make sure the shot is perfect as well. So
Mhm.
is the rubbish in the background? People are so particular about these kind of things. There's been times where I filmed stuff and I can't even upload it because my shots are in
Yeah,
the background. You know,
I
and
hear you.
when you've got to think you're competing with 5 billion other people doing what you do. It's got to be right.
Mm,
So yeah, I would say that.
very cool. Great. But it's cool because I mean, a lot of the shots you're taking, you're set up anyway. You might have either just finished with a client or you're working with a friend or a colleague, and you're doing that as part of the service anyway. So it's already ready there to have a lovely picture taken of anyway. So you're just using what
100%.
you've already got there. So it's clever.
100%.
Um, right, fantastic. Where are you? 8:48. Do you have like a 2-year, 5-year plan? I know I mean, on your website, you've always saying I've got exciting stuff coming. So I don't want you to kind of break it now, save it for your audience. But do
I'm
you
gonna say
work with,
I
are you?
can't say too much. I
Okay.
can't say too much. I'm working on a project at the moment, and I'm excited, but I can't say too much.
Oh,
You know,
don't say it on here. You've only got 2,000 people who are going to hear it, so don't bother saying it on here. What I no, I don't want you to give too much away. But so you do have like a 2-5 year plan of things you're working on and
yeah,
places you're going
100%.
to.
So yeah, working on a project at the moment. Very exciting.
In what area?
Massage still.
Okay.
I
Any particular?
can't say.
Can't say, can you? Okay, it's fine.
Normally, I say too much, but I'm making a promise to myself to just keep it
When's it going to materialize?
before the end of the year.
Oh, fine. So we'll get you
Yeah,
back
I'm right
at
in the
some
middle of
point.
it now. And
Okay.
you had a question before, will I be outsourcing other help
Mm,
to help me this time? And 100% I will. And I'm excited
okay.
to. So, yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, we have talked in the past about things like mentorship, especially with building businesses and just contacting, networking. Um, yeah, because you work by yourself, you said, don't you, in a clinic? So you don't actually work. Has that always been the case? Have you ever worked in a multidisciplinary setting with physios or osteos or chiros at hand, or has it always just been you in a room?
I worked in spa once, but I
Hmm.
didn't work there long. I worked there for about 3 months and I was still working for myself. It was just part time. I
Okay.
only did it because once upon a time my dream was to have this big spa.
Mm,
But I cannot believe how stressed and how poorly managed they are.
mm,
Like, again, I shouldn't be stressed going into my client.
mhm,
You know, I'm supposed to then de stress, and I feel, oh my God, I'm tired thinking about it now. It was so bad.
mm.
I learned a lot of positive things. Like, you learn so many tips and tricks on how to take a treatment to the next level and make it luxury. But yeah, crazy.
But if there's a level 4, level 5 therapist or physio, chiro, osteopath, podiatrist, anyone who's looking to have a reliable massage therapist who's not going to fill their clients' heads with things like toxin flush outs and stuff like that, then would they should they kind of like contact you and say, oh wow, you're
Yeah,
just the sort of person we need?
yeah, 100%. 100%.
And how would they do that? Is it best through the website or through Instagram or?
Instagram for sure. I'm 100% on Instagram the most, and it is my most used platform, I would say.
This is cool. I predict there's going to be more of you in the future, which
Oh,
won't be a bad thing because it will just create more competition, which is generally healthy in that. But I think what you're doing now is going to be shown through the research. It's so valuable and such a missing part, core part of healthcare. And I think a lot of allied health professionals in particular who are not don't like hands-on contact. This is not their bag.
yeah,
They're going to need professionals like yourself who obviously are interested in the welfare of their client and looking things up. They're going to need. We're going to realize that it's a multidisciplinary ring of care for people, and it's going to
yeah,
be all different talents. So yeah, I'm interested to see how what you're doing increases all around, not just in Oldham. It's gonna take on, I think, and you've got a head start. You were the original one. So fantastic. It's gonna be great.
I'll take it.
Fine, right. Well, thank you so much. Great tips for massage therapists. It would be interesting. We don't know what your bombshell release is going to be, but
Keep
hopefully we'll
watching.
keep watching. People can follow you on Instagram, which remind me again, what is the Instagram?
So the Instagram is Merge Massage Studio, and if you search that on Instagram, I will come up straight away. So I'll be waiting for your follow and interaction.
Fantastic. That's MERJ, Merge Massage Studio. Wicked.
That's the one.
And then if people want to go to your website, then we've got remind me of the website. Can't find it right now.
Bodiesbymerge.co.uk.
.co.uk. Fantastic. Well, make sure those links go into the show notes as always, people. Thank you everyone for joining us live. That kind of hour zoomed by, but it's a really interesting topic. And I'm hoping it's going to empower massage therapists in particular to realize that what you do is so important, and it's not just massage. It's so difficult to say massage therapy without putting a just in front. We've got to
I
stop doing that.
know. Massage is it's a powerhouse. It is a healing tool. It's been around for 5,000 of years. Put some respect on the name. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
without a doubt, we've got to stop saying
100%.
just. We've got to stop saying just and take
Yeah.
pride in your work and just perfect those skills. And if you need a hands up, if you need a kind of a push up, then go along to Bodies by Merge and have a look. Some great ideas there. Right. What have we got coming next week? Oh yeah, as I said, next week we're going to start the countdown to the conference happening in September. The STA South West Conference in Exmouth on the 20th and 21st of September in collaboration with the ST Score and Hands-on Hub. And on the show, we're going to have Michelle Lyons of Celebrating with Liberty and Siobhan O Donnell, also known as the Booby Physio of Posture Fitting. And they're both going to be talking about their involvement. So it's going to be a great time to join us live if you can. But if you are listening to the podcast, then do please remember to leave a rating and a review. It's so important. We do this all for free. It's just a chance for the good word of our guests to get out there. So just subscribe to YouTube channel. That's good as well for helping us get out there, and leave a rating or review on your podcast app. But for now, it's just thank you once again to Megan Jackson, founder of Bodies by Merge.
Thank
you
you
very much. Really appreciate it.
Me.
The episode which we've been reflecting on has been Social Media Do Soft Tissue Therapists Really Need It? If you want to listen to that one, it was recorded back in January with guests Katie Bell and Daniel Lawrence. Thanks again, everyone who joined us live, and hopefully we'll see some of you next Tuesday on the Sports Therapy Association podcast. Till then, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.